Well, hello and welcome to episode 6. Are we on 6? I think we're on 6 of the Oversteer and Overshare podcast. It's been a little bit because we're doing every other week right now, just purely based on our schedules, and there was no racing. But hello, welcome back, wife. How we doing?
I'm doing great.
Okay, that's all we get.
That's it.
I got shit like a goose. I got to tell you what, she made soup, and I just realized right now that it's about to come out as soup. So,
Dude,
this will be a podcast.
this is disgusting.
I thought I cured my IBS too. I was all excited.
The problem is it was probably like the healthiest thing you've eaten this week.
No, I have a salad every day now because
Every
it
day
helps.
now?
Yeah, I didn't. if
Okay,
you
that
didn't
might
know
have
this,
been the most water you've had.
that could be it. Yeah.
Was the soup.
If you didn't know this, vegetables are good for you, and I have recently discovered that vegetables are good for me, and I've almost cured my IBS. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
honestly.
you're learning this at 28.
Yeah.
Crazy.
hmm
Okay.
What do you got?
We're just okay. No like build up or anything.
That was
We're
the
just gonna
build-up
go
right
right
there.
into it. Okay. So we'll start with the race this weekend. This weekend,
Coda was this weekend.
I was going to say this weekend was the U.S. Grand Prix.
I'll never speak again.
Yeah, I don't think you should. Oversteer and overshare with wife. Sometimes T-Bone can talk. Anyway, so this weekend was the U.S. Grand Prix. I was so distracted by your water guzzling on the mic.
Yeah.
I could see the volume just
Look at
go.
you. You're becoming a podcaster.
As you were chugging water, you just gave everyone ASMR, I guess. Okay, so anyway, US Grand Prix was this weekend. And overall, it was a sprint weekend. No support races. Okay, so just F1.
They had maybe Porsche Supercup.
Yeah.
I don't really care about those.
When we went, they had F1 Academy first year. But anyway, so this weekend, US Grand Prix. I will say, we'll start with the sprint race because that happened first, and that was the most exciting part of this weekend. So
By a lot.
yeah, the sprint race, obviously, turn one incident with double McLaren DNF, contact in turn one.
And Nico Hulkenberg starting up in P4, now dead to the world, basically.
I thought he started P5 for the real race, not the. Oh no, you're right. It was the
That's
sprint.
how he was
yeah,
up there to be involved. And then
Okay.
Yuki dragged his front wing for half a lap.
Yeah. Okay, so McLaren contact. Big deal. Lando and Oscar are obviously in a title fight right now, along with Max Verstappen for some reason.
Not for some reason.
I mean, no, yeah.
For the
We can
Max
talk
Verstappen
about that.
reason.
We can talk about that later. But yeah, so Lando and Oscar title fight, and they make contact turn one, lap one. Let's talk about that because right after Singapore, that is a big deal. Lando came into the weekend saying there were repercussions for him
Which we now know what they are.
or consequences following Singapore.
Do you know what they are?
No.
Oscar gets to pick which order he goes out in every qualifying session for the rest of the year.
For the rest of the year.
Which is
Oh.
nonsense to me.
Fuck,
Over
that's
some light contact
crazy.
on a lap one, turn one title fight. Like
We obviously talked about it where we both agree that that's just a lap one incident.
mhm.
Like Singapore was just an incident in our
It's
opinion.
just the McLarens are just finally hungry is all that was.
It was just contact. Lando had his elbows out for the first time. Like, I'm a big Lando hater this year. I won't even lie. I'm a huge Lando hater this year. I think that Singapore was a great move from him.
Mhm.
Man, letting Oscar pick where he goes
for
out
the rest of
is
every qualifying
crazy.
session for the rest of the season.
Crazy considering they're in a title fight. Like, it'd be
Exactly.
totally different if Lando was like, P5 in the championship. Like, who the fuck cares? But man, that does feel like
That feels like McLaren overcorrecting for seeming to favor Lando all season. It seems like an overcorrection.
that is
It's like we have to prove that we don't favor Lando and we're gonna fuck him.
so. Yeah, and I'm gonna say that I think there's a few things. Hearing that, for one, that's crazy, but I do agree that it's probably. Hey, Penny, can we not? I do
For those
agree.
on an audio medium, our dog has a toy next to us, and it will probably go off for the rest of the
Hey,
stream.
let's not, sweet girl. So where was I?
I don't. No. You,
Both
you-
of our
you-
ADHD brains.
I don't even have ADHD. You just take
couldn't
forever to
focus
speak.
on anything.
She discovered she was going back and going through like clips of this, and she said how often she uses filler words.
Oh my God,
It
so
upset her so
much.
much. And it's because you start stories for 3 sentences. You never actually get to it. So I don't know where you were because you were talking about something.
La, 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 la.
Oscar, a lot of things. Oscar, Lando.
Oscar, a lot of things.
We're gonna move
Oscar
on.
Lando. No, hold on.
Okay.
I got it. Oh, so we were talking about them overcorrecting. Okay, so McLaren overcorrecting with this. Okay, so McLaren's overcorrecting. I think that they definitely are overcorrecting. So if anyone is on social media and chronically online like I am, you will see after all of these races, McLaren's social team getting shit on. Like completely shit on. I feel horrible for their social media admin who probably makes like 45,000 pounds or whatever it is a year. Like they're not making enough money to deal with like all of the comments on all these posts. Where, and to their credit, like I've shown you some posts where they're like, yay, remember there was the post in the McLaren Technology Center and you had to play like Where's Waldo for Oscar. Yeah, and like Oscar had won that race. So like
Remember what we said about looking at the camera?
they are not doing a great job about but this is my good angle. It's my good side.
It's very sweet that you've been looking at me the whole time, but it's not really how podcasts are usually done.
So anyway, yeah, half of the people listening to this won't even be able to see my good side anyway. But so anyway, see, now I already lost my place. You can't do that to me. So okay, so the social media admin is fighting for their life.
Just thinking of how you run millions and millions of dollars of work in your real job.
Yeah, so much money.
And someone you just can't deal with a single distraction.
Yeah, so okay, so the social media admin for McLaren is fighting for their life. They are getting shit on. It has been the Lando show. If anyone's really watching, it does feel like Lando is the team favorite. I know everyone says Lando is Zach's favorite and Oscar is Andrea Stella's favorite.
We should plumb the depths of that a little bit. So there's a lot more to that has come out recently, that Lando is actually his favorite, because basically,
oh, I forgot you told me this.
Yeah, so basically and I'm gonna not get all this right because I'm not an IndyCar fan, but so Alex Palou was an IndyCar driver, and he's actually been in like a different lawsuit with his old IndyCar team as well over kind of a similar like contract statement. But basically, he signed on to be McLaren's reserve or development driver. I don't remember which. They are different. I don't remember which one it was. And he says that it came with a certain number of FP1 sessions, which we found out recently are incredibly valuable because Ryo Hirakawa paid like over $3 million to have, I think it was 2 FP1 sessions, like paid out of pocket. So now we're realizing how valuable these things are.
Who is he, the reserve driver? Haas?
He's in WEC. He's a Toyota driver in WEC, Ryo Hirakawa. You look real confused. It's okay. You don't watch WEC.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't even know why you were trying to like figure that out as I said it. So basically, Alex Palou was signed this development driver deal. He was promised a certain number of FP1 sessions, which he got, but he also says that he was promised Oscar's seat. And in the year that would have been Oscar's first year, before that, he was fully expecting to be signed to McLaren. His IndyCar team, which is the Aero McLaren team, said that he was driving an IndyCar, and he basically did like an Oscar Piastri, like, without my consent, this has been released or whatever. He didn't think that he was going to be driving an IndyCar. So because of that, McLaren sued him for $20 million over breach of contract for his IndyCar seat.
IndyCar drivers cannot make a lot of money, I'm sure.
I mean, they make good money. They don't make F1 money.
Yeah, like I feel like it's probably the equivalent of like a first year F1 driver. Like it's like $1 or $2 million a year.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So then come to find out that basically Andrea Stella wanted Oscar and Zach Brown wanted Alex Palou. And that was a big inter-team battle. And that's what's come out in this whole process of lawsuits and everything. And Oscar's hearing all this, and he's basically realizing that he isn't the favorite. We know he's not the favorite, but he wasn't wanted, I should say. So that was all in the lead up to this weekend.
Well,
add some
and then
more context to the
also,
weekend.
You had told me about Lando being Zach's favorite was that Zach was an investor for Quadrant.
Zach was the CEO.
The CEO of Quadrant, which was Lando's like esports. It's his like sports team. They started with esports. They do have a bunch of athletes now. But
Now I know that this is kind of how business works, but Zach Brown is a little shady in the way that he keeps hiring himself. So
he's living the American dream.
I mean, basically, I get it. It's kind of like how like I make sim racing content. I want to own like a sim racing gloves company and then just sell my own product to my own thing. You know what I mean? Like it's the same vibe as that. But basically, he owns United Autosport in WEC, in endurance racing. And United Autosport fields an LMP2 car, which doesn't have like a manufacturer attached to it. They're one. It's a spec series. So there's one LMP2 car that everybody runs, and they also field two McLaren GT3 cars, but they're painted in like the black and papaya like F1 colors. They match with the IndyCar team and the F1 team, but it's United Autosports. It's not a McLaren factory team. It is United Autosports with assistance from McLaren. I didn't know this, but when we found out that McLaren was entering hypercar, they were doing it again with United Autosports. So he, as CEO of McLaren, hired his racing team, United Autosports, and gets paid from both sides of it. So, like, again, I get it. That's the way business works, but it is a little sketchy to me.
He's an American businessman. I don't know what you like. Capitalism runs deep in our blood. He knows what he's doing. Okay, so that's fucking crazy.
Well, let's get to the race weekend.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to go back. I'm saying that's fucking crazy that the consequences was that Oscar gets to decide which order he goes out in.
For the rest of the season.
I do, man, and I'm such a Lando hater. Like, I've been such a Lando hater.
It does seem like, though, that was enough to piss him off to start doing better. Because he did out-qualify Oscar pretty handily in both qualifying sessions this weekend.
You think he realized, like, he wasn't getting handouts anymore, and he was like, fuck, I really, like...
I don't know.
Like, the playing fields are even, or what?
I don't know. I've said this a lot, but I think that, like... I think that Oscar... Like, Lando has more raw talent than Oscar when he can unlock it, but Oscar's baseline is higher than Lando's. So, like, Oscar's average performance, what he can do day in and day out, is better than Lando's average performance. But when Lando has those good drives, he can really outshine Oscar.
I just think that Lando is very similar to Lewis, where he gets too trapped in his own head. Lando's obviously got that, like, athletes, whatever these drivers need, like, whatever part of your brain needs to be unlocked to do this, like, Lando's got it. Like, it's in his blood, I guess.
I don't know if he's got the championship mentality.
No, and I was going to say, I think he's got that same issue that Lewis has where he gets stuck in his own head. Like, I think he lets a lot of outside noise influence him. I think he lets his own, like, personal beliefs influence him a lot. I have said this before. I want to know who Oscar's therapist is. Whatever his antidepressant dosage is has got to be amazing. Like,
I think it's just his parents.
He's just, I mean,
you meet his mom,
his
or you
family
see his mom,
online.
and you're like, oh, he's just a well-adjusted... You know, hold on, this is interesting. You know how Oscar's family made their money? RC cars. His dad owns an RC car part company.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, Oscar he doesn't have that, like, mental block that I think Lando really feeds into. But I think I just dropped my phone. Because I was trying to hit the thing for you.
You were trying to get the clip button, so you just threw your phone.
I just dropped my phone, and I can't bend down because
you don't need it in a podcast. You're fine.
But okay,
just leave it alone.
I won't remember what to talk about.
Oh, then get it.
No, because then you're gonna be upset. The audio is bad when I'm.
It's fine. We can just not talk for 2 seconds while you go get it. It was more when you were leaning over and, like, holding the mic out like that.
Okay, so anyway,
fascinating.
So I think, though, that Oscar, he has this, like, technical part of his brain that I think sets him apart from Lando. And this was really evident in the background.
Anyone watching on YouTube is getting a real treat from our dog in the background.
One is passed out on the couch in the back, and the other is just being a crackhead. Anyway.
Sorry, I looked at you.
Oscar has this, like, technical know-how that Lando just doesn't. And I think that this has been shown quite a few times. I'm trying not to say and I'm staring at the fucking dog, like, playing against your lap. So
I don't, like, it's funny to me because content, like I've been working on content for so long that it comes very naturally to me now, but like watching you just have the roughest time doing nothing.
Okay, so Oscar has this technical for the 85th time. Oscar has this
Remember what I said earlier
technical.
where you start
I
stories for 3 sentences?
know. Okay, Oscar has this technical.
You don't have to restart at Oscar has this technical every time. You can just continue.
Okay, I'm trying.
We're gonna move on. This race.
He's really smart. No, I've got it.
Taking the reins back.
I've got it. He's really smart. And this has been evident in a few races, this difference that between Lando and Oscar and this like learner's mentality. Oscar has a very technical mindset where he learns from other drivers, and we don't see that with Lando. So Oscar, this specifically, obviously both McLarens DNF'd in the sprint race, which I do think we should talk about, like our opinions on that incident earlier. But in the race, Oscar was obviously way in the back, P5 miles back, whatever. But Lando kept trying to make moves on Charles, and it was so evident, like
doing the same
turn, the same move every single time, and it wasn't clicking. And there were times, I want to say it was Singapore last year, maybe. It was a street race, maybe it was Jeddah, I don't remember. But Max, I think it might have been Jeddah, but Max was going for, he had Lando and Oscar, and Lando tried to make a move that he just couldn't get, and then Oscar made
Miami. That was Miami this year.
It was Miami, okay. And Oscar could get it. Like, he tried twice for 2 laps. He saw Max doing however Max defends.
He baited him into going deep and then just went under.
Yeah, like Lando knows, or not, Oscar knows. I'm so distracted. Oscar knows.
She's really having a tough time today, apparently.
I should have taken Adderall or something before we filmed this.
The turn 1 collision in the sprint. Let's do sprint race first. Nothing terribly interesting in qualifying, I don't think, except all getting P4. Sprint race first. We had Penny.
I work from home. These dogs not being able to leave me alone is insane.
Well, that's your work desk. This is your.
I know, that's true.
Desk. We got to record it over Zoom from now on.
Hey.
This is probably got to be either our worst podcast we've ever done or our best one we've ever done. Haven't decided yet. Stop engaging with her. So anyway, turn 1 in the sprint, Oscar went for an over-under, which, to his credit, if he pulled off, would be insane. I've never seen an over-under on a lap 1 ever. I've never seen it. No one does over-unders on lap 1. The reason is to do an over-under.
You crash.
No. So to do an over-under, what that is you've got an inside car and an outside car, right? And the inside car is always going to want to brake later than the outside car to try and get to the apex first and hog the road and push off the outside car, right?
Okay.
Which means the only way to combat that, because you're not going to outbrake, you can outbrake them, but you have to significantly outbrake someone if you're on the outside because you're vulnerable to the inside of the car. So the way to do that is, instead of trying to brake at the same way, you brake earlier, slow up the car more so that when they go deep, you can swing the nose of the car underneath and get a better exit through the corner, right? So that's what the over-under is. Very common in racing, but the only way to do it is to over-slow the car in order to get underneath the car that's next to you. So that's why I was saying after this happened that this was Oscar's fault, because you just don't go for an over-under on lap 1. The other cars are too close. You are overslowing the car, which is exactly what happened. He overslowed the car. He cut in. Because he overslowed the car, Hulk and all them were there, and he just clobbered into Hulk and then took out Lando. That's my opinion of the sprint.
I think it was an incident. I think that was a lap 1, turn 1 incident. The FIA stewards agreed.
Because they're the golden star of being fair and making sense.
Well, so I think it was a lap 1, turn 1 incident. We both agreed that when a similar thing happened with Lando and Lando made contact with Oscar in Singapore, that was an incident. I think this
was totally different. It just was not the same thing.
I mean, yeah, it was a different move, but Oscar's got his elbows out. He, after the last race, realized the team they're not gonna help him. He got hit by Lando. He made the point, like, are you gonna give me the position back? That wasn't very team-like, whatever. The team let Lando hold his place. And so here, I think that's just Oscar is in his villain era, his reputation era, and he had his elbows
The
out.
reputation era. So I don't think anything else really interesting happened in the sprint, did they? Lance crashed out at the very end.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
think
kind
there's
of.
much else in the sprint.
You don't want to talk more about the crash?
I think we covered it.
Okay,
That's what I
fine.
mean. Like, what else?
Max won the sprint. Max also won the feature race, which the feature race was pretty boring.
Max
We
has.
got into a fight about the
We
feature
did get into a
race.
fight over the feature race. Max has. Do you know how many points Max has gotten since the summer break?
Mm-mm.
119. You know how many points McLaren has gotten since the summer break? 119.
Like even or like
Even.
Okay.
So Max himself has gotten just as many points as both McLarens. So like I'm starting to think he's the favorite for the title this year, which is insane.
I
to
did
say.
say I told him I was like, if Max wins world champion, I'll get a Max Verstappen tattoo. Like, I'm so serious.
And I'm gonna have to look at a Max Verstappen tattoo on my wife.
I want Oscar to win. I really do. Max making a comeback like this would be phenomenal.
only he could do it.
Only like no one else would be able to do this. Yeah.
Nowhere near.
Max is the only person who could manage a comeback like this.
So yeah, we did get in a fight over this. It was the dumbest fight ever, but we did get in a fight.
Yeah,
over
it
this.
was. And I said it was a dumb fight. And he kept, you said I'm not a real fan.
Is that how I sounded? So what I was saying is that I've watched since 2014. Wife has watched since 2023. This is both the closest title fight we've gotten in a decade and the most boring that we've gotten in a decade. And the reason I say that is because there's never been a time in the last 10 years where 5 races from the end there were legitimately 3 options for the title, which there are. There's 3 options for the title this year. I think that's undeniable. However, when's the last time that any of the 3 title contenders passed each other on track outside of lap 1? And the answer is a long time ago. And that's what I mean is like this is a super boring season. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the design of the cars. I don't know if they're just fucking pussies. I don't know what it is. But there's no overtaking whatsoever in the race. You can watch lap 1 and turn the race off for the last like 5 or 6 races, and you wouldn't have missed a single thing.
And so my
Fair to
rebuttal
rebuttal.
to that was you must not really like F1 and you should never watch the races again.
She's somehow very quickly turned into the toxic F1 internet fan of like, well, you're just not a real. It's like Star Wars. No one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. If you can't deal with no one passing, you're not a real F1 fan. Go watch NASCAR. That's what you sound like.
I just don't like, because we were talking and you were like, it's so boring. I can turn lap 1 on and then turn the race off. And I was like, then don't watch the races. And you're like, well, no. And I'm like, what do you want? And
I'm
do you
allowed to
want a
complain.
move every single lap? Do you want excitement every single lap? You're not going to get
Well, hold
that.
on. We're about to have another fight. Every single lap and
I said,
0 overtakes in the race are pretty far apart. So I'm saying there are 0, and that's pretty true. Like of the top 3, there is
you're changing your tune though,
No.
because when we fought, you said that is fact. There have been no overtakes. There's been nothing else outside of the top, and you even said 10. You were like, that is fact, and you were going on. And
that was
then,
true.
then
In the time of the race, that I said that the top 8, because someone crashed out, the top 8 hadn't moved at all the entire race. That is true. That is a truth.
And then I saw you go on stream, and a lot of people in stream were like, what about this overtake? What about this overtake?
No, the only one was Lando in turn 3 of lap 1 in Singapore, because I said lap 1, turn 1. So now I'm changing it to lap 1 because they hit me on stream. They hit me with turn 3. Other people said that was the greatest take they've ever heard. It was Cam, and we can't trust him because he doesn't drink. He doesn't use flavor, but
He doesn't drink
He doesn't use flavor.
in his ramen.
Yeah, he makes ramen with.
Yeah, there was like no context for other people that know
I
that.
don't need the context. That was Easter egg for him.
Like who makes instant ramen and doesn't put the flavor pack in? Okay, so race was really boring.
Yeah, I think that's really all you need to cover there. I mean, was there anything else in the race to cover? I don't think so.
We talked about track limits. You wanted to get rid of track limits, I think was your point.
It's not that I want to get rid of track limits. It's that on
Maybe you
these
should
tracks,
watch NASCAR.
on these tracks like Coda, where they've got like big runoff areas, and the car naturally wants to extend to that runoff area. It's just not fun to watch and think someone's on a lap. You don't need to be doing this, Penny. It's just not fun to watch and think someone's on a lap and then their tire goes a millimeter over the line and that's just it, right?
It is fun though, because you think you're like, I'm so close. My driver is going to get P1. Like, they got it. Purple sectors down the line. And you're like, this is awesome. And then all of that's fucking ripped away from you because all of a sudden track limits at turn 12.
You like that?
That's fun. That keeps it exciting.
Well,
You have
what
to.
I was-
These are the top 20 drivers in the world.
19 and Lance Stroll. What I was saying was that it's not that I disagree with track limits being enforced. It's that I like what Austria did, which is they had all these track limits issues and they said, fuck it, we're going to put a gravel trap there. And then they had no track limits issues. I think that's just a more exciting thing to watch because then there's some actual jeopardy. Then it's like, if you go over, you'll hit a sausage curb or hit a gravel trap. Not just like, oh, you'll have your lap time deleted. Ooh, hee hee. I just think there's a better way to do it. So it's either let them do maximum attack and just fucking...
Well, you'd have to think about, though, what these tracks have race-wise outside of F1. Like, whether that's actually feasible or not to add a gravel trap at, like, Coda or whatever.
I mean, I think it's feasible. That's what I mean is I like the way Austria did it.
I'm saying I don't know what race series occurs at Austria that doesn't happen at Coda or vice versa.
NASCAR happens at Coda, which the NASCAR track limits at Coda are hilarious. They'll go all the way up on the stars.
That's why I was saying, like, maybe you should watch NASCAR.
Well, no, it's also like if you watch old quali laps from back in the day, like they're just so maximum attack. They're so fun to watch, but they do go over track limits. But it's like cooler to watch.
I mean, the track limits also keeps the drivers on the road. Like, realistically, that is going to help them get a better lap time. It is like so minuscule sometimes, but
No,
I like the track limits.
You'd get a better lap time abusing track limits.
I mean, not always. If you're just messy as fuck and you're just taking turns wide.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry. There's some stuff that's opinion, there's some stuff that's facts, and that's just your track limit, like because it's a natural flow of the corner. You're mad at me, I don't know. Let's play Would You
I
Rather.
actually don't give a fuck about what you have to say about this.
Nice of you.
Fake fan.
Let's play Would You Rather.
Okay.
These are about to get so much worse than what I wrote down. Someone wants to be rude.
Are these
No, I'm just
racing
kidding.
related?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I came up with all three of these right before the podcast started, so I don't know if they're good or not. Would you rather Carlos goes back to Ferrari and is a title contender down to the last race, but loses, or he stays at Williams and brings them into like a top team status? Like he gets race wins with them. He's never fighting for a title, but like he's successful. He's bringing Williams back.
I would rather stay with Williams and get race wins with them, even if he's not a title fight contender, because the atmosphere at Williams is so different than the atmosphere he had at Ferrari. Like, Williams is truly celebrating every small, like they're celebrating podiums, like for sprint races, like things like that. And Ferrari didn't even go to Carlos's last podiums when he won the race because he wasn't going to be their driver next year. So I'd rather him stay with Williams.
Okay. Next question.
Do you have? Oh, well, I guess these are for me. You
These
don't
are
care
for you,
about
yeah.
Carlos Sainz.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Would you rather Cadillac be a top 5 team next year? So making Q3, in the points pretty consistently, doing well. Or Red Bull gets a proper second seat.
I don't really care. So I also didn't watch F1 when Haas was a new team, so I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously Haas isn't a good team now. They're getting better.
They did fairly well in their first year. They might have done the best in their first year and then dropped off pretty significantly. But it was different back then. They bought a bunch of design from Ferrari. You can't really do that anymore. So like their car kind of was a Ferrari junior car.
I think I would rather Red Bull have a proper second seat.
Dude, you gotta stop this.
Yeah.
This fucking bitch.
I think
my wife.
I think I would rather
She's gonna cry the whole time.
Red Bull have a proper second seat because she's gonna try and get it off the desk. I think I would rather have Red Bull have a proper second seat because it's really painful watching Yuki do so poorly. Like,
it really sucks.
Not that he was doing phenomenally or like was gonna win any races in Racing Bulls, but he was doing good in Racing Bulls.
With the whole season happening, I think it's a mix of both. I think Yuki is underperforming and the car sucks. I don't know exactly where the the dividing line is there, but it seems like it's a bit of both. I don't put it
I just
wholly on the Red Bull.
I think a lot of people thought if Lauren Mekies went to Red Bull, like Yuki would have a shot because he obviously likes Yuki, but he's underperforming, and it really is like that Red Bull seat is cursed. I think it's very clear we're seeing that because Yuki desered that Red Bull seat.
Yuki for sure deserved the Red Bull seat.
Liam got it before anyone else, but yeah, and now
performing in it.
Yeah. Okay, what's my next? Would you rather?
The last would you rather? Would you rather only ever go to COTA again for F1 races? Or you can never go to an F1 race, but you can go to any WEC race.
I would rather go to a WEC race than go to COTA again.
Just a reminder by the calendar, it's Qatar, Imola, Spa, Le Mans, Fuji, Bahrain. I might be missing one there.
COTA is my personal hell. That was the first F1 race I went to. We're from Texas.
It's not that bad of an event.
God, I hated COTA. Hated COTA. There's so many people, like
they oversell it.
Yeah, I don't think that there's a capacity limit they have at this race.
I used to do GA for COTA every year. I tell people now, I'll never suggest you do GA at COTA.
There's hundreds of thousands of people. There's not an ounce of shade anywhere. There's not enough water. The water you can buy is $20 a bottle.
There was one free water station in the entire campus and like I said, it was 600,000 people, 550,000 people. And there was one water jug you go to. We found like a water fountain tucked away somewhere that we could go to. This dog is absolutely being a psycho. But yeah, it's tough.
One point.
It's like unsafe how hot it is there.
Like, and we're from Texas, and the first time back in a few years, obviously, we're from Texas. We like had heat stroke. It was so hot and horrible there. The shuttle's getting there. Oh, I was going to say, I remember at one point people, and maybe I won't even be allowed back at COTA after I tell the story, but we broke into the freezer, into the cooler at the amphitheater area by the bathrooms.
Oh, I wasn't there. I
was there for this. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I won't be allowed in.
I haven't heard this story.
We broke into the cooler to steal bags of ice because they kept ice in these coolers. And so near the bar area, we were stealing ice to fill bottles with because it was so hot.
I remember I would buy like 2 Topo Chicos, and they were like the 8-ounce bottles. So they were like the skinny ones. And I would buy 2 of them every day of the weekend, and I would just add to a collection of water bottles.
Yeah, we had a backpack of just empty water bottles.
I would roll up with a backpack of like 6 water bottles every day, and I would just fill all of them because it was so hot.
So hot. It was, insane.
And there's no, I do think, like, I don't necessarily think everyone's entitled to everything, but it's like, it was properly criminal how they make you pay for water there, and it's 100 degrees with no shade.
COTA, in my opinion, and I think it would be different WEC, like, this is why I would pick going to a WEC race. Yeah, because
there's like 60,000 people there.
Well, but also like COTA.
COTA's the other one they go to.
COTA to me felt like a festival. Like if you have ever been to Austin City Limits, like Austin is a very
that was definitely the
California sort of vibe, and so the F1
South
weekend.
By Southwest.
Yeah, or South by Southwest.
They
or
definitely
ACL.
That's the inspiration.
It's a festival.
COTA.
It's not a racing event. People are not there for racing. Like we were there, and people were like asking us, "Oh, is this?"
I was there for F1 Academy. On TV they're obviously different, but if you're in person, like the cars do look different. F1 Academy are way slower. They're not as loud. They're littler.
Well, and you wouldn't know that if you're not an F1 fan. Yeah, you would just think that they're kind of the same.
These people walked up to us while F1 Academy was going around, and they were like, "Is the race on?" Like, and I was like, "The F1 Academy race," and they were like, "Oh," like you could tell they had no idea what that meant at all.
Yeah, or like people during qualifying day would be like, "Oh, the race," and you're like, "Nope, that's tomorrow." Like,
there's also a lot of Checo fans that don't really know much about the sport or Checo, which is fine. I think it's cool to see them, but there were a lot of Checo fans that were very loud for Max Verstappen on accident, and they would be like, "Oh, you." When Checo would come back.
It's just I just don't enjoy the vibe of COTA. Japan was so much better.
Japan was, but we're pretty spoiled with that.
Yeah,
most people can't.
I know, and we're doing Vegas, which also again is going to be like really pretentious and spoiled of us. But
I think Vegas might end up being your least favorite.
I hated Vegas. We got married in Vegas. If you guys don't know,
She didn't
I
hate it because of the
hated
wedding.
Vegas.
Let's be clear. It's not that she got married that she hated.
The trauma.
Yeah, I did.
Honestly, I do have trauma from the wedding.
I remember that was the last time I was drunk. That was the most I've ever been drunk, and the last time I've ever been drunk.
Yeah.
3 years
so
ago.
our wedding was the first time and only time I'd been to Vegas. I hated Vegas. It's just dirty. It's expensive.
It's not as nice as people
really
want it to be.
struggle with money. Like I really struggle when like ungodly amounts of wealth, which is just kind of ridiculous for F1. I hated Vegas. I do think I'll struggle with this race.
Do you have anything else in your agenda?
Oh yes, we talked. Okay, so I was on the F1 app and I noticed that they added decimal points to the point tally, and we decided to get conspiratorial during the really boring COTA race.
Before we fought,
yeah, we got really conspiratorial and we talked about how maybe they were trying to do half points for a championship
battle. I was saying that people always joke about the NFL being scripted, and like they'll always come out and be like, "Oh, it's going to be Baltimore versus Kansas City or whatever." I don't know if that's even a combination of teams that can happen.
The people that watch football are like, "Why the fuck would the Ravens go to this?"
Well, they got it. The Super Bowl is AFC and NFC, so they might both be in the same conference. I don't know. Anyway, but I was saying like F1 is scripted. We're gonna get a half points race, which has happened. I don't know if you know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's when a race can't go the full distance. So yeah, I was like, they're just preparing us for the scripted event in Brazil when it's rained out and Max qualified the best or whatever.
Man, do you have anything F1 related next or no?
We got to do our first ad read.
I was going to say, what? We have an ad? But no,
hold on.
Hold on. We should talk about...
I told him I'd do it in the middle of the podcast.
Okay, and I think we actually already talked about what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Max potentially winning championship.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I think Max is the favorite. To me, it's can Lando or Oscar win the championship?
Guys, if you've watched this far, leave a comment down below about what my Max Verstappen tattoo should be. Have you seen the video? Or it's a picture of this guy with a Max Verstappen tattoo, and it's like Max Verstappen World Champ 2021
and it
or
had
something.
All his race wins.
Yeah, but then it has to get smaller because he did it so big. Yeah.
I bet if you explained all the like lore and jokes to our tattoo artist, he could actually come up with something.
I do think he could.
I think he would be really good at that.
Yeah.
Like making.
And he like knows just enough about F1 to do something that's not like completely ridiculous.
I want that Toriyama McLaren thing.
The fuck is a Toriyama McLaren?
The creator of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z loved F1, and for a while was a sponsor of the McLaren F1 team. So the very famous McLaren MLP4 or whatever it's called, the like red and white, the really famous one.
Okay, sure.
The Lego that I have, Ayrton Senna's McLaren.
Oh, okay.
That he was a sponsor of that McLaren, and he did an art that was like Goku and Goku's girlfriend and everybody around a McLaren F1 car. It's like official art. So anyway,
oh my god, maybe I get an F1 Hello Kitty tattoo.
We have our first sponsor of the podcast, and I have to do an ad read for him. So if you're into sim racing, like I am, it's Hyperspec Gloves. It's a sim racer just like us. He just started his own company to put out something better on the market than what he was seeing. I love them. They're comfortable. They're breathable. They're grippy. They're really comfortable. I said comfortable twice. They're really good. This is the first edition. So this is the Crimson edition. And he is the official glove partner of the Funky Bunch. And he paid me, not her, for this ad. So if you want to support, go to his website and use code TBONE at checkout.
What if they want to support me?
They don't.
Okay.
They can become YouTube members, but I already got that payout.
Yeah, and I also didn't get any split of that payout.
Well, that's because the first one's been in the works for 2 years. I haven't received it yet. It may get held. Okay. Do you want to do more on Max winning the championship, or we beat that horse to death?
I think we beat it to death.
Okay. So I'll finish this out with a couple of non-F1 stuff. My pen's running out of ink.
Dumbass fountain pen.
Ooh, some bitches out of ink. Anyway, so yeah, a couple things. First of all, Colton Herta to F2, I think is a big story. It's also hilarious because he's like a full-grown man, like he's an adult man, and he's gonna go to F2 with all these like 18 to 20-year-olds.
How old is he? Because when you filmed this breaking news this morning, I was like, isn't he old? And you were like, well, I don't know about old, but I was like, isn't he like older than the other
Past
drivers.
30, I want to say.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Man,
yeah.
he is old.
Someone should Google this at some point.
So is the idea...
I'm 2 years away from 30.
Yeah, but okay, but so I'm saying he's old because as far as F1 drivers go, like that's on the high end of the F1 driver. So is the idea that he's going to be a Cadillac driver or...
So, yeah, he's the reserve driver for Cadillac. Cadillac is putting him into F2 with a deal with High Tech. I think it's two things. I think it's one, basically they're jump-starting their junior driver program so that because they're Valtteri and Checo are their drivers next year.
I forgot, I was about to ask who
I
their
got real
drivers are.
confused. Yeah,
I was
got real
thinking
confused for a
Nico. I
second.
forgot that that's Audi.
So Valtteri and Nico, god damn it, Valtteri and Checo are the Cadillac drivers, and they're
All
obviously
these fucking old people. We can't
yeah.
keep them straight. Oh
That's
my
what
god.
I mean is they're obviously like they've got a couple years left in them probably, but they're definitely over the hill on their career. So
I do think Valtteri's kind of on his way out anyway. Like I think I see Valtteri like living a life that he enjoys in Colorado and, you know, doing his bike racing and the races. Like Checo needed to come back, I think, because he just doesn't want to be at home with 6 kids or however many he's got. I don't know, but yeah.
You can't cheat on his wife. He's at home all the
Yeah.
time. Anyway, so I think it's that. I think they're trying to jumpstart their junior driver program, have someone in the paddock kind of ready to go. It's also to help him get his super license. So if he did want to race for F1, and if they did need him to like step in for a weekend, he would have enough super license points to do it. And then lastly, I think it's kind of they're basically saying like, you think you can handle it in F1? Show us in F2. If you can handle it in F2, we'll talk about F1. If you can't handle it in F2, then it's a cheaper like cost for them, although it's still $2 million a year to put someone in F2, which is crazy.
Who does he drive for in IndyCar?
An IndyCar team.
Okay, so we do a lot of research to prepare for this podcast, you guys.
I wanna
Only
say
the
it's-
most up-to-date information.
I want to say it's Gamebridge Honda, but that might not even be a team for all I know. I don't watch IndyCar.
Okay, so he might drive for IndyCar as far as we're concerned at
He
this
may
point.
not be an active IndyCar driver.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't follow IndyCar.
So this random old guy, this random old American
he's
guy
probably gonna be like
is coming to
24.
Cadillac. Yeah, I know.
Cadillac.
Cadillac. I'm so sorry,
gotta pronounce
Colton.
it in
If you
Vegas.
want to sponsor our podcast or come on,
What is this driver gonna just? Anyway,
maybe he sees us on TikTok. You never know.
so he's gonna go to F2, and I think it's cool because we hear a lot about these IndyCar drivers saying they can make it in F1, but like no one's tried. You know, no one's actually done it.
They do the reverse where F1
Yeah,
to Indy,
they go
but
from F1 is the pinnacle. I mean, it really is. So they go from F1 to WEC or whatever. No one really makes it out. If they don't go straight from F2 to F1, they don't really go to F1, just in general.
well, and this could be great because it really could open another feeder series for F1 if this is successful.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Is there's always talk about like how comparable IndyCar drivers are to F1 drivers. So this will say, okay, we're going to put him not in F1, but in a spec series where the car doesn't matter. It's going to be equal measuring. It's every other young driver that's doing Formula cars their whole life, and we're going to see how he does. I think he's going to do terrible, personally.
What?
I don't think he's going to do well.
He's American. He's got to do well.
He's American. You're not even patriotic. What are you talking about?
He's gonna come on the podcast. You have to say good things
Colton
about
Herta
him.
is going to come on the podcast to our basement.
He's gonna come on the
with the
podcast for
dogs.
me because he wants to support me since no one else supports me
Sure.
in this podcast.
So
Colton Herta, just let me know if you want to come on my podcast.
next thing,
We can record on Discord because that's the only thing I know how to work.
next thing is you're done on. You have no more like line items.
Yeah.
Okay. So next thing I want to talk about, I want to do a little bit of a segment on racing series you may not have been exposed to or may not be familiar with. And give you a little bit of knowledge.
You
on
keep like reworking the same like other racing series segment and you just like
Well, there's no F2 to talk about.
yeah, well we've talked about like motorsport already, like WEC, like
This will make sense.
we talked about the Nürburgring
3 minutes.
and the 24-hour.
Give me 3 minutes, then it'll make sense. So I want to talk about the Ligier European Series. Yeah, recognition just dawned on her face. She knows what I'm doing. Which is a feeder series for WEC.
It's what I'm gonna do. Maxwell Dodds, if you want to come on.
He's already agreed to come on.
Oh my god, spoilers.
You just spoiled it. Jesus Christ.
I don't know how the clip button works.
You have to go through the clips anyway. So Yeah, get to the last 90 seconds. Anyway, so the Ligier European Series is like the F4 of WEC. So, right, there's two main ladders that you go through. There's the F1 formula style ladder, F2, F3, GB4, all that fun stuff, right? And then there's the endurance sports car ladder, and that the pinnacle of that is WEC. IMSA has its own version of it. WEC and IMSA are pretty equivalent. A lot of drivers do both, but then it goes from WEC down to European Le Mans, down to Le Mans Cup, down to Ligier European Series. So it's like an F4 for WEC, right?
Is it regional or is it like
Ligier European
like how they have
Series is
GB
regional
four or
to
whatever?
Europe.
Yeah,
Ligier European Series.
I just meant like because they have what'd you say? F4, but like F4 is regional. Like you can do
F4
like
is regional,
F4 like
like-
Japan or whatever.
Yeah. GB3,
So, like,
GB4
Is
Great
Ligier
Britain.
European? Is that like a specific regional area? Like obviously Europe, but I'm saying is that like are there a bunch of different like
No,
Ligier?
so they have a full calendar. They go to Silverstone, they go to Le Mans, they go to Portimao. They have a full calendar.
Okay,
Main tracks. And
I have to
cool,
learn before Maxwell comes on the podcast.
Yeah, what's cool about it? Yeah, we're having a guest on the podcast at some point. By the way, guys, what's cool about it is that this series in particular, so it costs a lot of money to get into these higher tier racing series. So, for example, in F1, you don't pay or you don't get paid until you're in F1. You pay for your seat, even all the way up to F2. F2 costs about $2 million a year. We said that earlier. This series, Ligier European Series, gives a scholarship fund of £150,000 to the championship winner
Oh, that's cool.
to fully fund their seat in the next tier,
And what was the next tier again?
Le Mans Cup, which is where Marta
Okay.
Garcia is right now.
Okay.
So she was the reason I know all this is because I've tried to follow the F1 Academy champions and see kind of where they spread out to.
He's like that meme with like the maps and the strings in the back.
It looks like
That's
that.
like
I have a sheet of paper that looks like that. So Marta was the first F1 Academy champion. She went to GB4 and then to Le Mans Cup with Iron Dames. Abby Pulling was the second. She went to GB3, which is kind of cool because it means that like the F1 Academy's worth more. I don't know how she's doing that season. I only watched the first couple. Anyway, this whole series, actually the whole WEC feeder structure.
Hamda and the Al-Kabasi
The
sisters.
Al-Kabasi
they're
sisters are in
the
this with Maxwell. Yeah.
Ligier Le Mans
European series.
Ligier
add
European
words.
Series.
And all of these, so the F2, the F3.
Maxwell, I want you to know that I have watched some of your races. I've been on the
With me,
couch.
yeah.
Yeah, with him, not like by myself, but I have watched some. I just consume
There's
media
a lot of this
horribly.
podcast that's been talking directly to someone that doesn't watch the podcast. So of those feeder series, they're all free on YouTube. So I highly suggest you check them out because they're literally free on YouTube. Just turn them on. They're great for like on the background stuff, you know. But I just thought it was cool that the Ligier European Series specifically is trying to help lower level drivers get the funding they need to move up. It is actually like trying to walk the walk.
Well, and also because we talked about how was it F2 or F3 is introducing like a reward championship bracket. At last episode, we talked about this.
F3.
Okay.
To fund
so-
F2. Yeah.
Yeah, but so like, and that was like split between the top 5 drivers. £150,000 in my mind would go a lot further in this like series than the F3 pool would go.
Well, so I'll give some context to this in a little bit, but yeah, so it's cool to see because frankly, all these series should have been doing this decades ago. You know,
It
Like,
is crazy that you like people are paying for this. Like these series they're making a profit, and
Yeah.
the driver they're making even more of a profit because these drivers are paying to do it.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
every series except for like F1, IMSA, and WEC, maybe European Le Mans. I can see it. I can see some of those being paid, but every series that's lower than those, the driver pays every weekend to be a part of. Just I don't know if everybody knew that. So I got to watch. So Maxwell's a mutual of mine. He like found my content and joined races
Subtle
and
plug.
stuff. And I got to watch. I watched the whole season, but I got to watch him live win the championship, and it was super fun because he was leading the race, but his championship rival was in like third, I think, and so he wasn't getting enough points to win. And then in the last few minutes, the championship rival had an issue and had to go to the pits, and it was like a crazy dramatic finish where Maxwell won the champion.
They also do 2 races in a weekend, like how
Mhm.
F2 does.
Yeah, they do 2 races in the weekend, and they follow the European Le Mans feeder series calendar basically. So that's one thing.
I remember watching Spa for that race.
The last thing I wanted to cover is I found out what I would argue is the lowest level of racing you can do. and how much that costs this weekend.
Mm.
Because I have
Another mutual of his.
Yeah, well, this is just someone that follows me. I don't even follow him back. That sounds super shitty.
God.
It's a follower of mine. Anyway, I feel bad for the way I said that. He is doing. He doesn't have any social media. That's why. He is doing.
So it's okay what we say here.
I do feel bad for the way I just said that. He is doing a Grid Life Rush series, which is like a type of pre-manufactured car. They're race cars. They're not road cars.
It's like $60,000 to buy. I Googled it.
Yeah, so they're like, this is like the lowest level racing I think you can do, like that, or maybe like SCCA Spec Ford race.
They're like small. Well, I mean, I would say like karting at your local track is the lowest, but like this has a YouTube channel. They're like very small tracks in like rural U.S. I don't know if they do them like internationally, but we watched the U.S. race.
And he was telling me that it's even at that level, right, where there's not a single person in the stands. It costs.
I don't think they have stands. Like, to be fair, I don't think there are stands. We didn't see like shots.
It costs $6,000 per weekend for him to do that.
Yeah, and then this weekend, there were 2 races, or maybe there were more, but
4 races.
We turned on 2.
Yeah,
and one of the races rained out, so like you pay $6,000 and you don't even race.
And the only thing that he's trying to do is like get footage to show to sponsors, right? So I just thought it was super cool to learn about like the whole ladder of motorsport, and that's kind of the bottom. I mean, there's karting also. Karting's probably the lowest. I would say this is like the next.
Shout out to our other mutual, Hungary.
I plan to make a Funky Munch Racing program before this is over, but anyway,
he's turning into Zach Brown for all of that shitting on Zach Brown. He's trying to feed.
Yeah, listen, you got to own the game, not the pieces. Okay. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting to find out. Like, I've really enjoyed this year going through a lot of lower level series, and there's so many that are free on YouTube. So like, I would highly suggest go check out GB3, European Le Mans, Ligier European Series, any of this Grid Life Rush. All this stuff is on YouTube for free. Go check it out. You might really find something you like. But that's kind of all I've got for this episode.
Okay. I think so. I was trying to think if I had any would you rathers for you.
Throw one at me real quick.
Would you rather? This was gonna be so inappropriate. I know it was immediately gonna be so inappropriate.
Think on it for a second. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment of what you want to see from future episodes. The comments really help with the algorithm. And we will. Oh, you're out of town again next.
I am out of town.
There's a race that weekend that sucks too.
I mean, we can film when I get back. I'm gonna watch.
I forgot
I'm going to a work conference, so I'll just like with my phone at the work conference watching the Mexico Grand Prix.
And then if you're on Spotify, please follow the podcast. That's the biggest thing for Spotify. So please follow the podcast and share with a friend that maybe likes F1 or other types of racing series.
Or Colton Herta or Maxwell Dodds.
If you know Colton Herta, send it to them. And we know the audio is a little janky. Honestly, we're just kind of going to get through this first F1 season and then figure out if we want to do it next season. And if so, buy like proper audio. It's tough to do it when we're sitting next to each other and not have some echo there.
We're also just having fun.
Yeah, I'm not.
This is not a moneymaker by any means.
No.
Neither of us quit our day jobs to do this podcast.
Just have to be one. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. What's your would you rather for me?
I don't have one. It was going to be really inappropriate.
Well, I think that's best. Go ahead.
I was going to... Don't even want to ask it.
Go ahead. Fuck, marry, kill? What are we doing?
It was going to be like, would you rather take Lewis in the front and Max in the back, or Max...
Christ.
Runner?
Jesus Christ. I'm getting Eiffel Towered by Lewis and Max.
Well, yeah. So, because...
I'm getting Eiffel Towered by Lewis and Max?
Yeah, so on Book Talk, they talk about, like, would you rather have, like... God in the front or the devil in the back, or vice versa. And so to me, this is the equivalent of that.
I think I'd rather have Max in the front. I can see Lewis being like, I'm gonna fuck this mouth, but like Max isn't gonna do that. He's just standing there awkwardly.
The second you said that, I was like, man, I think you would choke on Lewis. Like,
we don't know. He's short.
It's crazy.
He's racist. You just think he has a big dick because he's black. This is really gone downhill.
Okay.